In this video, we are going to talk about what is digital benchmarking and why you should do it. So before starting this video, like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel for future updates. Benchmarking is a process that is based on survey data and helps clients figure out where they stand in the market. This is done by comparing the client's skills quantitatively with those of their peers in the same industry and the best companies from around the world. In a time of fast change and difficult constraints, benchmarking digital maturity across business models, business processes, and technology portfolios in absolute and competitive terms gives insights that will help with strategic resource prioritization and allocation. Digital platforms are becoming more and more important for making sales. Companies are running their business online more than ever before. The move to digital hasn't helped one group more than another. If your business doesn't take advantage of what digital selling has to offer, other businesses will be happy to fill the space that your business has left. Companies with better digital strategies and better ways of putting them into action are winning with their customers and making progress against their competitors. If a company wants to stay at the top of its field, it must not only follow the best business strategies and practices, but also try to do better than those standards. It is not a new idea to compare the success of your business to that of your competitors. To be successful in your field, you must meet the needs of your customers and set yourself apart from your competitors by giving them something you don't. What exactly is the benchmark? A comparison of one company to other companies that are competing in the same industry is what we mean when we talk about a benchmark. The process of discovering gaps in your own digital strategy can be aided by comparisons with competitors' strategies. When measured against these criteria, your website, social media strategy, customer experience, and other aspects of your business may expose some flaws. The primary goal of benchmarking is to obtain a better understanding of what your successful competitors are doing differently from you. When it comes to designing your own strategy, having an understanding of what is working for your competition can provide you with a starting point. How can you best guide your digital transition using benchmarking? First things first, evaluate where you now stand with your digital strategy. It is highly possible that others who compete with you already have one in place. In that case, I have some wonderful news for you. In that case, you will have to play catch up. If you look at the metrics and measurements of your digital strategies and compare them to those of your competitors, you might be able to find any flaws in your approach. Set your priorities and focus on how to solve these problems. But you shouldn't build your entire digital strategy on these insights alone. You should instead use them to get ideas. You have more power the more you know. If you know where you stand in your business compared to your competitors and what strategies they use, you can learn important things about your own strategy and have more control over it. Using these signs as a guide is a great way to get started, but if you want to be successful, you need to go above and beyond what your competitors are doing. Keep an eye on how the traffic and patterns change as a result of the changes you make. With these measurements, you may be able to get a better idea of which changes work and which ones don't. Some of the changes may or may not help your strategy in a good way. By keeping an eye on these changes, you can catch any bad effects sooner rather than later, which is a big plus. Find out what the latest digital trends are in your field and make sure you stay up to date on them. What are the current trends that your competitors are using? Do you have the time, money, and skills to add these trends to your digital strategy? What do you need to do to put them into action? Benchmarking can also be used to get rid of competitors who aren't really competitors because they don't meet your standards. Find out who in your field should be copied and who shouldn't be copied, and why. Using these benchmarking metrics as a guide can be a great way to figure out how your competitors stack up. Comparing your products and services to those of other companies in the same industry as yours can be a good way to figure out which companies are your direct competitors. Benchmarking can be divided into 4 categories: practice, performance, external, and internal. Number 1. Compiling and contrasting quantitative data is what performance benchmarking entails, i.e., measures or key performance indicators. The first thing most organizations do to find performance gaps is benchmarking performance. Standard measurements and/or KPIs are required, together with a system for gathering, processing, and analyzing the data. What you get: information that helps you make decisions. Organizations typically start with this type of benchmarking to find performance gaps. Number 2. Practice benchmarking is the practice of acquiring and contrasting qualitative data regarding how a task is carried out using people, procedures, and technology. What you need: a standardized method, such process mapping, for gathering and comparing qualitative data. What you get: knowledge about the locations and causes of performance gaps, as well as best practices the organization can use in other areas. Number 3. Internal benchmarking analyses measures performance benchmarking and/or methods, practices benchmarking from various departments, programs, product lines, geographic divisions, etc. within the business. What you need: at least 2 organizational divisions with comparable measurements or procedures. The result: internal benchmarking is an excellent place to start when figuring out the industry norm for business performance. Continuous internal benchmarking primarily applicable to large businesses where some business units are more effective than others. Number 4. Comparing metrics and/or practices of one business to one or many others is done through external benchmarking. What you need: participation from one or more organizations is required for custom benchmarking. A third party can be required to make data collection easier. Although this strategy can be quite beneficial, it frequently takes a lot of time and work. What you get: a factual understanding of your organization's existing situation that enables you to establish benchmarks and improvement objectives. Are there any drawbacks associated with benchmarking? Insights are valuable metrics to have. Despite the fact that analytics almost never fail, it is essential not to waste time obtaining metrics that are of little use. Make sure you have a clear goal in mind before beginning an analysis of your competition. Do not enter without a plan. Having a clear objective in mind will help you select the appropriate analytic methods and guarantee that you are focusing on the right variables in your analysis. Because benchmarking is an ongoing activity, you should make sure that you perform it on a consistent manner. Competitors need to be monitored and evaluated on a regular basis if you want to be successful. Both digital trends and strategies, as well as your competitors' strategies, are always evolving in tandem with one another. If you keep up with the digital tactics that your rivals are employing and the trends that are currently influencing your sector, you can ensure that your own digital strategy will continue to develop in tandem with it. The purpose of competitive benchmarking is not only to assess the level of success that your company has achieved, it is also an excellent method for finding new marketing opportunities and enhancing your existing marketing strategies in order to produce better results and, ultimately, to gain an advantage over your rivals in the long run. In an ideal situation, you should create these competitive benchmark reports on a regular basis so that you can track how your results are progressing in comparison to those of your competitors. You should also make use of them to continue gaining valuable insights into your audience and what actually works and what doesn't, and this applies to everything from the content you create to the keywords you target and the social media campaigns you begin. What do you think about this video? Do let us know down in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.